The universe has a way of keeping the scales balanced. Every action has a consequence. Every intention leaves a mark. No one escapes it, not even those who secretly wish for your downfall, the ones who threw thorns in your path. Watch how fate makes them walk barefoot over the very traps they set for you. The cosmic balance is brutal, and those who try to sabotage the chosen ones only end up sabotaging themselves. You see, when you are destined for greatness, your success is not just a possibility, it's a law of nature. The harder they try to pull you down, the higher you rise. It's the paradox they will never understand. They move in shadows, whispering, scheming, plotting, but every dagger they aim at you only sharpens your edge. They think they're pushing you toward failure, but they're really forging your resilience, making you unstoppable. And here's the irony: while they exhaust themselves in hatred, you thrive. They watch in disbelief as every obstacle they place in your way transforms into a stepping stone for your success. Power isn't just about wealth or influence. It's about being chosen, about carrying an energy that haunts your enemies long after they've failed to break you. Your presence alone is a reminder of their defeat. They can't understand why you keep winning, why their efforts backfire, why the universe refuses to reward their envy. But deep down, they know, when you are meant to rise, no force on earth can hold you back. And that's why you're here. Your path is different. Your growth is unstoppable. Your enemies have unknowingly become the architects of your success. While they drown in their own bitterness, you step into a future they can't even comprehend. The only question is, are you ready to claim it? If you know you're among the chosen, show it. Like, subscribe, and step into the power that was always meant for you. Number 1, brace yourself. Your breakthrough will feel like a breakdown. Success doesn't arrive wrapped in silk and gold. It storms in like a hurricane, tearing apart everything weak, outdated, and unfit for your next level. You want wealth, power, freedom, then prepare for the chaos that comes before it. Because nothing of real value is handed over easily. The universe doesn't test you to see if you want it. It tests you to see if you can hold it. Right now, it may feel like everything is crumbling. Your relationships feel strained. Your patience is being shredded. Your confidence wavers. Good. That's the sign you're on the edge of something massive. Think of a diamond. It's only created under relentless pressure. You too are being refined, whether you realize it or not. The discomfort you feel isn't punishment, it's transformation. The habits, routines, and even the people that once fit comfortably in your life. Many of them can't come with you where you're going. They weren't built for this level, and deep down, you know it. Some friendships will dissolve, not because you betrayed them, but because they never had the capacity to grow with you. Some daily comforts will shatter, not because you did something wrong, but because they were designed for a smaller version of you. Wealth, power, and success don't just expose who you are. They amplify it. If you lack discipline, the stakes will skyrocket. If you have toxic people around you, their true colors will shine like neon warnings. If you fear responsibility, the pressure will feel unbearable. This isn't a coincidence. This is the final purge before you rise. People make the mistake of thinking struggle means they're failing. That's the biggest lie ever told. Struggle is proof you're moving forward. The more intense the discomfort, the greater the shift that's coming. But here's where most people lose. They panic, they quit, they retreat back to their comfort zone. And that's exactly why they never touch real wealth, real freedom. They weren't willing to endure the fire that separates the weak from the chosen. The storm before your breakthrough isn't a mistake. It's a filtration system. The question is, Will you let the chaos break you, or will you break through it? If you truly understand what's happening, you won't run from the discomfort, you'll welcome it. Because while others fear change, you'll embrace it. While they cry over what's being taken from them, you'll understand it's making space for something bigger. Wealth isn't coming to rescue you, it's coming to reveal you. So when everything feels like it's falling apart, take a breath, smile. You're not losing, you're evolving. The next chapter of your life isn't written in peace, it's forged in fire. The only question is, are you strong enough to walk through it? Number 2, beware. Sudden wealth attracts people who aren't meant for you. Wealth doesn't just change your bank account, it changes the way people see you, treat you, and even think about you. And that's where things get dangerous. The moment you rise, you become a magnet. But not just for success. You'll attract admiration, obsession, envy, and even resentment all at once. Some will cheer for you, some will secretly wish you'd fall, and some will disguise themselves as allies, waiting for the right moment to sink their hooks into you. People you never thought would change will show their true colors. Friends who once stood by you will start questioning you, doubting your intentions, or making sly comments like, "You've changed." What they really mean is, "You're no longer struggling, and that makes me uncomfortable." Here's the harsh reality. Many of them were never truly for you. They were for the version of you that made them feel safe, the one who didn't challenge their own lack of growth. Now that you've risen, their insecurities are exposed, and they'll either distance themselves or try to pull you back down. And then there are the opportunists. These people don't just admire your success, they see it as an open invitation. Some will come dressed as friends, showering you with flattery, making you feel like a king or queen, until they start asking for favors, money, or special treatment. Others will use guilt as a weapon, subtly making you feel like you owe them something. Here's what they don't understand. Being chosen means you can't afford to carry dead weight. If someone is in your life only for what they can take, they're not part of your future. They're a distraction from it. The first lesson wealth teaches you isn't about money. It's about boundaries. You must protect your energy as fiercely as you protect your wealth. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table, no matter how close they once were. Losing certain connections is the cost of leveling up, and you need to be okay with that. This isn't about paranoia, it's about discernment. Every successful person you've ever admired has learned this the hard way. Not all company is good company, and if you're truly chosen for wealth, power, and freedom, you'd better learn this lesson before the wrong people teach it to you. Number 3, fix your mindset. Wealth will expose every money lie you believe. Chosen ones, wealth doesn't just land in your hands. It shines a brutal spotlight on everything you've ever believed about money, success, and your own worth. If you think sudden wealth is just about upgrading your lifestyle, think again. It's about upgrading you, and that means every hidden insecurity, every toxic belief, and every unspoken fear about money will be dragged to the surface for you to face. You've heard people say, money changes people. That's not true. Money reveals people. If you've been telling yourself that rich people are greedy, guess what? That belief won't vanish when you become one. It'll haunt you, making you feel like you've done something wrong just for having more. If you think wealth is temporary and you don't deserve it, you'll subconsciously sabotage yourself until you lose it all. And if you secretly believe money is evil, you'll hesitate at every opportunity, torn between success and guilt. This is why so many people crash and burn after sudden wealth. It's not the money that destroys them, it's their own mind. The unspoken fears they never confronted, the limiting beliefs they never rewired, the subconscious guilt they never shook off. All of it takes control, leading them straight back to where they started. Not because they were reckless, not because they were stupid, but because their mind was never prepared for wealth in the first place. Here's the cold truth. Money won't solve your problems. It will magnify them. If you lack self-control, your spending will spiral. If you have toxic relationships, the manipulation will intensify. If you're unsure of your own worth, you'll be paralyzed, second-guessing every move you make. Wealth doesn't fix you, it tests you. But here's the difference between the ones who lose everything and the ones who build empires. Awareness. If you know these beliefs exist, you can reprogram them. If you understand that money is just a tool, a source of power, freedom, and opportunity, you can wield it without fear. Wealth doesn't have to corrupt, it can empower if you let it. So, chosen ones, the real work isn't just making money, it's mastering your mind. Because the moment wealth enters your life, it won't just change your circumstances, it will reveal exactly who you are. The question is, are you ready to face that reflection? Number 4, don't lose yourself. Success will force you to redefine who you are. Chosen ones, when wealth finds you, it doesn't just change your bank account, it reshapes your entire identity. Suddenly, you are no longer just the person people once knew. You are now the one with money. And that label carries weight. It invites opinions, expectations, and judgments from every direction. People who once saw you as their equal will start questioning who you've become. And let's be real, you've changed. Because you had to. You cannot operate at the same level when your reality has evolved. But here's the problem. Most people aren't ready for your transformation. They were comfortable with the old version of you, the one who struggled alongside them. Now, your success makes them uncomfortable. The whispers behind your back, the passive-aggressive comments, the sudden distance from people you once called friends. It's not your imagination. It's the cost of growth. Envy will become a shadow you can't escape. You'll hear things like, "It must be nice," or subtle digs implying you don't deserve what you have. Some will assume you got lucky, that you cheated your way in, or that you won't be able to sustain it. Even family members, the ones who once cheered for you, might start acting differently. Their perception of you is stuck in the past, tied to the person you used to be, not the one you are becoming. And this is where the real challenge begins. How much of the old you do you keep, and how much do you let go? Because make no mistake, you are allowed to change. In fact, you must. Staying the same when your entire reality is shifting isn't strength, it's self-sabotage. But here's the trap. If you don't define who you are at your core, the world will try to do it for you. This is why your values, your purpose, and your boundaries must be unshakable. Wealth will test you. It will force you to decide what matters, who matters, and what you're willing to protect. It will push you into rooms where your old self doesn't belong. But only you get to decide what your transformation looks like. So, chosen ones, ask yourself, who are you willing to become? Because the moment wealth chooses you, the world will demand an answer. Number 5, pause before you ruin it. The first move. After wealth is the most dangerous, chosen ones. When wealth hits, your first move can make or break everything. You'll feel the rush, the electrifying surge of power, excitement, and limitless possibility. But that rush, it's dangerous. It blinds people, makes them reckless, makes them believe they're invincible, and that's exactly how they lose it all. Wealth doesn't just expose your strengths, it puts a magnifying glass on your weaknesses. If you lack discipline, you'll burn through money like dry grass in a wildfire. If you seek validation, you'll announce your success too soon, attracting vultures disguised as friends. If you move without strategy, you'll make decisions that haunt you for a lifetime. The first rule of sudden wealth: don't react. Pause. Let the excitement settle, because the moment people know you've leveled up, the world shifts. Opportunists start circling. Expectations pile up. Everyone suddenly has advice on what you should do. But here's the truth. They don't want to guide you. They want to control you. That's why the smartest thing you can do is say nothing and do nothing, at least for a moment. Sit with it. Observe. Let your mind adjust before making a single move. Wealth is like fire. It can cook a feast or burn down your entire house, depending on how you handle it. Silence is your greatest weapon. Announce your wealth too soon, and you invite hidden agendas. Move too fast, and you'll make mistakes you can't undo. This is the time to educate yourself, to surround yourself with experts, financial advisors, tax strategists, people who understand how to protect and grow money. Not your impulsive friends, not your envious relatives, only those who truly know the game. The difference between those who build lasting wealth and those who become cautionary tales. Discipline. Anyone can get money. Few know how to keep it, fewer know how to multiply it, and almost no one understands that the greatest power is restraint. Your fortune is not just about what you gain, it's about what you refuse to waste. Move smart, stay silent, and let your wealth work for you. The world will see your success when it's unshakable. Until then, guard it like a secret weapon. Number 6. Get educated or go broke. Wealth demands skills. You don't have yet chosen ones. You might want to prepare yourself for sudden wealth. Money doesn't just change your bank balance, it changes everything. It shifts how people see you, how you move through the world, and most importantly, how you handle it. And here's the truth most people aren't ready for. Having money is one thing, knowing what to do with it is another. Sudden wealth doesn't come with a manual, and if you're not prepared, it will expose every weakness you didn't know you had. Some think wealth is all about spending. Wrong. Wealth is about strategy. If you can't manage a small amount of money, what makes you think you can handle millions? Without the right knowledge, a fortune can vanish faster than it arrived. And history has proven this time and time again. Lottery winners, celebrities, athletes, they had it all, and then they lost it. Not because they weren't smart, but because they weren't equipped. Managing wealth isn't like managing a paycheck. The game changes completely. Investments, taxes, legal protections, these aren't just fancy words. They are shields against financial ruin. Can you spot the difference between a solid investment and a scam? Can you negotiate with financial advisors and lawyers to protect your best interests? If not, you're a walking target. And let's not forget the emotional battlefield that comes with sudden wealth. The moment you have money, people will show up, some with good intentions, others ready to bleed you dry. They will disguise their motives, wrap their words in flattery, and make you feel like you owe them something. This is where the real test begins. Saying yes is easy. Learning to say no will become your greatest weapon. Taxes. Most people don't even realize how much of their wealth can disappear overnight due to poor planning. If you don't learn how to legally protect your money, you might end up paying more to the system than you keep for yourself. And that's not an accident. That's a trap for the unprepared. But here's what separates the chosen from the lost. You are not here to be reckless with your fortune. You are here to rise, to master this game, to learn what others refuse to. The chosen ones aren't just the ones who receive wealth. They are the ones who become unshakable in the face of it. Money can open doors, but only knowledge keeps them open. So ask yourself, are you prepared to step through and never look back? Number 7, stop expecting applause. Your success will make some people hate you. Chosen ones, listen carefully. Your success isn't just a victory for you. It's a nightmare for those who never believed you'd make it. When you rise, you don't just break barriers, you shatter illusions. Your progress forces people to confront the very thing they've spent their lives avoiding, their own stagnation. Success is a ruthless spotlight. It doesn't just illuminate your growth, it casts shadows on their insecurities. Some will clap for you, but others, they'll shrink back, uncomfortable, bitter, searching for ways to explain away your achievements. They'll whisper, they'll roll their eyes, they'll say things like, "You changed," or "Don't forget where you came from." What they really mean is, "I can't handle that you evolved while I stayed the same." And here's the irony, they'll call you lucky, but they never saw the struggle that built you. They weren't there when you were grinding in silence, fighting battles they'll never understand. But now that you've made it, now they have opinions. Now they have passive-aggressive comments. Now they watch you from the sidelines hoping you trip. But let me tell you something. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. You didn't steal their opportunities. You didn't take anything from them. You simply grew. And growth is terrifying to those who fear change. The ones who once stood by your side might start keeping their distance, not because you did anything wrong, but because your success reminds them of what they failed to do for themselves. Here's what you don't do. Dim your light to make them feel better. You do not shrink yourself to fit inside the version of you they were once comfortable with. Playing small won't make them love you more. It will only rob you of everything you worked for. Not everyone is built to walk this path with you. Some will celebrate you, others will resent you, and a few will disappear entirely. Let them. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to rise. The right ones will adjust. The rest? Let them watch from a distance while you step into a future they can't even imagine. Number 8. Chase. Freedom, not fortune. Money alone won't give you what you want. Chosen ones, listen carefully. Wealth isn't about numbers, it's about energy. You could stack millions in your bank account, surround yourself with luxury, and still feel trapped. Because money alone is just paper, just digits on a screen. True wealth is what you do with it. True wealth is leverage. True wealth is power. If you're only chasing money, you're playing a game you will never win. Because no matter how much you collect, there will always be a higher number to reach, another goalpost moved further away. That's the trap, a hamster wheel of endless accumulation that leads nowhere. But the chosen ones see through this illusion. They don't just chase money, they master the energy behind it. Wealth is the ability to move differently, to control your time instead of selling it, to shape your reality instead of being a prisoner to it. It's the power to say no to what drains you and yes to what fuels you. Money is a tool, a weapon, a force that can either enslave or empower you. And the difference? Your mindset. When you understand the real nature of wealth, everything changes. You don't just aim for money, you aim for control. Control over your decisions, control over your freedom, control over where your energy flows. You buy your time back. You remove yourself from petty distractions and build something that multiplies in value. something that works for you even when you sleep. But those who don't get it, they'll stay stuck in survival mode, hoarding, spending recklessly, chasing material symbols that mean nothing. They collect money, you collect power. That's why they'll watch in frustration as you move freely, as you make choices without limits, as you build a reality where wealth isn't just a possession, it's a force that shapes your destiny. So, ask yourself, are you chasing money or are you commanding it? Because the chosen ones don't just seek riches, they seek control. They turn wealth into a tool, a weapon, an unstoppable force that moves them towards limitless possibility. That's true wealth, energy, leverage, and power. And once you master it, there is no cage in this world that can hold you. Number 9, find your mission or get lost. Wealth without purpose will destroy you. Wealth isn't just money, it's a test, a magnifying glass, a force that will either elevate you or expose you. When sudden wealth lands in your lap, don't think for a second it's just a gift. It's a challenge, a question disguised as an opportunity. Now that you have power, what will you do with it? The most dangerous position you can be in is rich without purpose, because money without direction is like fire in reckless hands. It burns everything down. That's why so many people who touch sudden wealth lose it just as fast as they got it. They never took the time to define why they wanted it in the first place. Wealth amplifies everything, good and bad. If you're disciplined, it will reward you. If you're reckless, it will punish you. If you have a mission, it will fuel it. But if you don't, it will consume you. Without a clear purpose, you'll find yourself lost in distractions, buying things you don't need, impressing people who don't matter, chasing temporary highs that leave you feeling emptier than before. The thrill of wealth fades fast when there's no deeper reason behind it. What starts as excitement quickly turns into hollow indulgence. Look around. How many people had it all and still lost everything? It wasn't lack of money, it was lack of direction. They thought wealth was the finish line, but it was just the beginning. And because they never set a real destination, they wandered off course, spending recklessly, trusting the wrong people, drowning in a lifestyle that swallowed them whole. But chosen ones, you're different. You aren't here to chase wealth for the sake of it. You're here to build something that lasts. Money is not the prize, it's the tool. And in the right hands, it can change lives, rewrite legacies, and shape the future. So when wealth comes your way, don't ask, "What can I buy?" Ask, "What can I build?" The world will try to pull you into a cycle of mindless spending and endless distractions. Don't fall for it. Define your purpose and make sure your money serves it, not the other way around. Because at the end of the day, wealth isn't the real challenge. Staying true to your mission is. And if you master that, no amount of money can ever own you. Number 10. Freedom isn't free. The emotional cost of wealth will shock you. Wealth promises a life without limits, choices without restrictions, and a future where you answer to no one. Sounds perfect, right? But here's what they don't tell you. Freedom isn't free. And the price? It's heavier than most can carry. At first you'll feel unstoppable. Money in the bank, options at your fingertips, the power to move however you choose. But then reality hits. The life you once knew? It doesn't fit anymore, and neither do most of the people in it. Relationships that once felt unbreakable suddenly start to crack. Friends who cheered for you when you were struggling now watch you with silent resentment. Family members who once encouraged you now whisper behind your back. They don't understand your new world. They don't understand that you had to change in order to win. And deep down, that terrifies them. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your success is a mirror reflecting what they never dared to chase for themselves. And then comes the next realization. Your old habits, the ones that felt so safe, are now your biggest obstacles. The routines that once comforted you are now cages holding you back. The late nights wasted on distractions, the endless conversations with people who don't push you forward, the mindset that kept you playing small, it all has to go. You can't step into the next level of your life while dragging the past behind you. This is where most people fail. Not because they weren't smart enough, not because they weren't talented enough, but because they weren't willing to let go. They wanted wealth without sacrifice, success without transformation, freedom without the cost. But that's not how the game works. True freedom means cutting ties with what no longer serves you, even when it hurts. It means walking alone for a while, standing firm in the discomfort of your own evolution. It's easy to say you want success, but are you willing to burn the old version of yourself to get there? Because that's what it takes. Most people fold under the weight of their own potential. They reach the door to a limitless life, but they refuse to walk through because they're too afraid of what they'll leave behind. But you weren't chosen to stay the same. You were chosen to rise. So ask yourself, do you really want freedom, or do you just like the idea of it? Because if you truly want it, then prepare to pay the price. Number 11. Trust your gut. Your intuition is the only thing protecting you from disaster. Chosen ones, you might want to prepare yourself for sudden wealth. But before you celebrate, understand this. Wealth isn't just about money. It's about navigating a battlefield where enemies won't always wear armor. Some will arrive dressed as friends, disguised as opportunities, cloaked in promises too sweet to resist. And if you're not careful, they'll drain you before you even realize what happened. When sudden wealth enters your life, it won't just bring comfort. It will awaken a swarm of people with hidden agendas. You'll see the floodgates open. Some will come with business proposals wrapped in golden words. Others will whisper about partnerships that benefit only them. And then there are those who won't say a word, but will wait, watching, calculating, waiting for a moment of weakness to take their share. Contracts won't save you. Lawyers can't see what's lurking behind fake smiles. The only thing standing between you and a massive mistake is your intuition, that inner voice that senses danger before your mind catches up. You know the feeling. When something looks perfect on paper but makes your stomach churn. That's not paranoia. That's your protection. The problem? Most people ignore it. They second-guess themselves, silencing that gut feeling until it's too late. They chase opportunities that feel too good to be true, thinking they've outsmarted the system. But the truth is, if it feels off, it is. Every major downfall begins with a moment when someone ignored their instincts. Don't be that person. Your intuition is fine-tuned to detect deception. It warns you when a deal is built on shaky ground. It alerts you when someone's energy shifts from admiration to entitlement. It lets you know when to walk away, even if the money looks right, even if everyone else tells you it's a good move. Sudden wealth magnifies everything, your opportunities, your risks, and most of all, the people around you. Those who once ignored you will now chase after you. And some of them. They don't want to see you succeed. They want to feed off you. So listen carefully. Your intuition is your silent weapon. Learn to trust it, sharpen it, and let it be your guide. Because in this new reality, your survival doesn't depend on how much money you make. It depends on how well you protect it. Number 12. Understand this. Sudden wealth is a test, not a reward. Wealth doesn't just land in your hands by accident. It's not luck. It's not some random twist of fate. It's a test of who you are, what you stand for, and whether you're truly ready for the weight that comes with it. Most people think money will change their lives, but what they don't realize is that money only amplifies who they already are. If you're careless, it will expose your recklessness. If you lack discipline, it'll magnify your flaws. If you're weak-minded, it will break you. Sudden wealth is an assignment, a responsibility, not a free pass. You weren't chosen for it just to indulge in luxury or impress those who doubted you. You were chosen to elevate, to lead, to shift the world in a way only you can. And that's exactly why wealth isn't given to just anyone. It has to go to those who can handle it, those who can wield it, those who can turn it into something bigger than themselves. But here's where most people fail. They see money as the finish line instead of the beginning. They get distracted by the shine, the comfort, the illusion of endless freedom. But if you think wealth is just about spending, you've already lost. Wealth is about power, not the kind that controls people, but the kind that creates, the kind that leaves an impact, the kind that forces the world to adjust to you instead of you adjusting to it. Your choices now hold more weight. The businesses you build, the investments you make, the people you uplift, it all matters. You can either use wealth to repeat the cycle of mediocrity, or you can break the system, disrupt the norm, and become a force that can't be ignored. And make no mistake, your wealth will attract leeches, opportunists, and those who suddenly deserve a piece of your success. The weak ones fall into that trap. The chosen ones, they move differently. They understand that sudden wealth isn't just about gaining money, it's about gaining control. Control over your time, your influence, your legacy. The real question is, what will you do with it? Will you fumble it, like the countless others who let success slip through their fingers? Or will you prove why you were chosen in the first place? Because the world isn't just watching, you are now a force that will shape it. And that's the truth. Sudden wealth isn't just a gift, it's a challenge. It forces you to evolve, to shed your old self, and to step into a version of you that can handle power, influence, and responsibility. The question isn't whether wealth is coming. The real question is, will you be ready when it arrives? Because chosen ones don't just receive wealth, they command it. If you found this eye-opening, don't just watch, engage, like, subscribe, and share this with those who need to hear it. Drop a comment below, and let's build a community of unstoppable minds. See you in the next one.